Alright guys, my mic is not muted. Let's get started. So Christian would arrive into Hidden Cloud Village. He would battle himself. And he would finally win the battle and then accept himself. But then after that he... to the couch. Alright, I am back. Let's get started. After beating himself, he heard an explosion at the Raikage's office. He'd absolutely 24 busted in there saying, "What the heck was that?" He goes, "The Raikage's office." He jumps in and says, "What the heck is going on?" He says, "Hold on a minute." And sees Raikage knocked out. He tries to poke him, and the Raikage tries to attack him. He's like, "Whoa, what did I do?" He said, "I didn't do that, I was over here. I was training at the the waterfall fort. The waterfall of truth. I was training there." He says, "Why were you doing that?" "Because I'm trying to control the Nine-Tails power." He says, "Who knocked everyone out here?" He says, "I'll even show you everything I got. I don't even got smoke bombs or any of that stuff." He throws everything he's got out. None of it. He only got shurikens, summoning scrolls. He says, "Okay, good. I thought it was you." And there's like, and the foot comes right near Christian's arm, and he goes, "Ah," and blocks it, saying, "What the?" And he says, hold on. I know one person who wears those ninja shoes." "Naruto? Is that Naruto?" He says, "How could that be Naruto?" He says, "That sure looks like Naruto to me. Only Naruto wears those shoes. Hold on, what if I do this?" Appears right next, because he says, "Wait a minute. If this is Naruto, then I should be able to teleport right to him." He says, "Oh yeah, so teleport to him. Maybe if it isn't, that it's not Naruto." He tries, but it actually works. He's like, did he replicate the seal or something? Like, why did I teleport to him? Then he punches that imposter to the face, breaking him out of there. And then the little guy escapes. And they say, "Go and form B." Chris would walk out and teleport back to the leaf, saying, he said, and then he gets called by Lady Tsunade, saying, "Wait, what the?" So then he walks in and says, "Someone attacked the Raikage last night." He said, "Yeah, I was there." He says, "What? Was it you then?" He says, "No! I was the one who was helping the Raikage fight, and I only have one suspect." They say, "Who?" "Him!" And he points at Naruto, and they say, "Why Naruto?" "Because the guy wore the exact exact clothes and shoes and hair and looked identical to Naruto." He says, "What? Naruto? Is this true?" He says, "I was at home." And he says, "Hold on." He says, wait a minute, why don't we get Gene? No, not Gene. Why don't we get Ino's father to do the Back to the Past jutsu and see if it was actually Naruto? He says, no, I don't think that'll work. Because if he was, then he says, also, wouldn't Naruto be resisting wouldn't Naruto also be resisting this jutsu if he tried that? So it's obviously not him. He says, whatever. Until we have full evidence who he is, he's heading to there. He's heading to there. He says, no. He says, alright. And Naruto says, I didn't do anything. He says, wood style. Yamato's about to do wood style. Christian says, stop. I got it. And appears right next to him and chops him in the neck, saying, sorry, Naruto, but until we find this, you have to go. Yeah, I'm basically doing the movie. So then when Naruto would arrive there, basically, Chris would go back to the Waterfall of Truth saying, we've sent Naruto to prison until we find out who the real culprit is. I'm just so shocked that it was Naruto and I could teleport to him. That is crazy. So I'm gonna go train at the Waterfall of Truth a little bit more. You can, yeah. When Christian tries to touch the waterfall, he falls in somewhere. He goes, what the heck is this? He said, and then B says, yo, 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 who are you? He says, I'm Christian, the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He's like, shoot, I just told someone, a random person, I'm the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He says, it's fine, I'm the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki, Killer B. He says, oh, hey, Killer B. He says, what are you trying to do? He says, I'm trying to control the Nine-Tails, you know? He goes, you got some fly around, my man. Let's hear some more, fool, you fool. He says, nah, I just want to learn how to control it. He says, did you already go to the Waterfall of Truth? And did you already accept your true self? He says, yeah, I did. He says, alright, come with me to this room. We got anyone who can restrain you? He says, nah, I don't need that. I'm strong enough by myself. He says, alright. So basically when he would meditate, he'd say, you're finally ready to fight. He'd say, hold on, wait a minute. He'd go, summoning jutsu. And summon Garatora, saying, hello, Garatora, I'd like you to allow me to unleash the seal. He says, what, why? He whispers in his ear, I want to try and control his power. He says, alright, don't blame me when it goes wrong. He says, I won't. He goes, ah. So then when he releases the seal, he says, ah. Going, cheer. And then he'd say, hold on, let's try and do this. So he goes into Sage mode immediately, then saying, let's go, Nine-Tails. Now, Nine-Tails is pretty bad in this timeline, not as bad as Naruto's, but pretty bad. He's got the same hatred for humans. Chris would say, ah, and go into his Sage mode, bodying him. Going up for the Nine-Tails saying, Rasengan Barrage! Hitting him, doing decent damage. Then jumping up in the air saying, here we go, Shiden! Saying, and then a giant purple lightning comes from both of his hands saying, duel Shiden! He says, I call this purple plasma fists. Yeah, I'm just copying Zoroark's move. He says, and slams them right into the Nine-Tails, into Kurama, saying, ah! Then he says, Kirin! Biting down onto the Nine-Tails and saying, Great Rasengan! Boom! Colliding with the Nine-Tails, but then the Nine-Tails does a tail beast bomb. He says, and says, Great Rasengan! Clashing, but then the Rasengan would not, but then the tail beast bomb would prevail. He'd be like, oh no! It didn't work! He says, but then the tail beast bomb comes right out and he says, Earth style, mud wall! He says, they say, how do you know Earth style mud wall? He says, just kidding, that wasn't a mud wall, that was a, he says, ah! And explodes his chakra. Which means, like, he takes out most of his chakra. And he puts it into a giant explosion. Which does tons of damage to Kurama. Well, actually, it just deflects the tail beast bomb, and then he says this. Giant Super Barrage! Rasengan Super Barrage! Giant Rasengan Super Barrage! He says that before absolutely annihilating the Nine-Tails. Then he tries to grab his chakra. But then it doesn't work. But then the Ninetales starts to use its own hatred. But then he goes into a void with two people in that void. Minato and Kushina, he says. He says, Minato and Kushina. He says, wait, Minato? He says, wait, who are you? Because he doesn't really know who Kushina is, but he knows who Minato is. He goes, I am Kushina Uzumaki. He says, are you related to Naruto? He says, yeah, I am. I am actually his mom. He says, and Minato is Naruto's dad? I'm guessing. He says, yep. He's like, cool, so I actually kind of wanted to meet you guys. And I'm kind of control the Ninetales, so Kushina would stop the Ninetales and say, and they'd have a giant chat. But then after that he'd say, when Naruto tries to control, I'll help him and we will all be, the four of us will be here. He says, but first I gotta control this guy. He says, alright, go! So then he'd say, Great Rasen Ring! Bigger than him. Like 20 times bigger than him, saying, ah! Ramming it into the Ninetales with Dark Aura explodes! And then he rips out the Ninetales chakra, getting KCM, saying, awesome! He goes, awesome! So, and then he says, I have to go, quickly! He says, why? He says, Naruto is in prison! They say, what did he do? He was framed. They say, how was he framed? Someone else was pretending to be him and attacked the Raikage. They go, well, why would anyone do that? Because it's Naruto. They want him in jail probably, so we can't really do anything. And he probably knows who the... I know who the real culprit. I actually don't know, because when I tried to flying Raijin to him, and then Minato grabs him on both shoulders and you could use the flying Raijin? Good, I knew you could do it. He says, yeah, by the way, I gotta go. The steel thing is running out soon. He says, alright, go. So then he runs out and says, hold on. He says, hey, Ninetales. He says, gracious deity gates. Throwing him down on the Ninetales. He says, trying to break through, but then he can't. And then he releases him and then puts the seal back, saying, if you just calm down and cooperate, this would be much easier. I wouldn't have to hurt you. We wouldn't even have to be in that situation if you just calm down and cooperate. He says, I refuse to work with a human. He says, whatever. And he says, alright, whatever. And then he just walks out. He says, what's popping up the gates? And just walks out, saying, whatever, I don't care. You want to be stubborn? I'll be stubborn. Then he walks out. Then he's running towards the grass prison. He walks back to the Leaf Village, actually. Runs back. He's there in like 10 minutes. They say, Christian, is that you? He says, yep, that's me, alright. They say, well, but why is your KCM different? It's like an orangey color. No, it's like Naruto. He says, oh, well, this is KCM. This is Kurama Chakra mode. I can control the Ninetales power. They say, cool. He says, look what else I can do. He puts out his finger, and the two other mini chakra arms on his finger come out, and he says, haha, look, mini Rasen rings. Boom. And he releases it and says, I gotta go help Naruto, because I know he's not the culprit. They say, you know that this is a mission. He says, I don't care. He has a fire seal on him, which means he can't use ninjutsu until the guy who placed it is dead. So I'm gonna go. Basically, he'd run to the hidden grass saying, let's go, all of us. The Leaf Village would bust out the door. And they'd head to the hospital. Not to the hospital, but to the prison. Basically, everything would go pretty normal with Naruto and all that crap. So yeah, like, watermelon. So basically, they would get there first. So basically, when they would get there, they would say, yo, Naruto, what's going on? He'd say, guys, you're here. He says, and we're here to MF and help. He says, we're here to help. He goes, yes. He says, whoa, 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 don't get any ideas, Naruto. This was a mission. He says, what? He says, he was in on it too. So don't get mad at just us. he was in on it too. And he goes, what, you were? He says, hey, we're all good now, aren't we? He says, Naruto says, we still have a score to settle on what you did. He says, oh, come on, I'm the one who basically saved you. Right? He says, you're the one who almost killed him. You were the one who almost got me trapped in here. He says, yes, true, true, true. Basically, he would say, so basically, they'd say, hey, where's Christian? He says, right here. Naruto wouldn't be in sage mode because he'd still be waiting to use it. Christian would say, yo, what up, Naruto? And then he says, yo, 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 Naruto! And Kidabi comes. But Christian would say, I got this thing. Don't worry. He says, yo, 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 I got this thing. He jumps up and says, planetary Rasengan! And rams it and said, nice try, Buster. So basically, he would jump in the air and say, wee. Basically, he would jump up and he would destroy that thing. Like, that thing would get wrecked. He'd be like, nah! So basically, he would finally be able to kill Mui, but Naruto would be stabbed in the process and would be taken out. He'd be like, alright, well, I mean, and that girl would want to give her life for Naruto, so, yeah. That's all. That's really all, actually, for the movie. I'll be going over something else later. Alright, guys, that's it for this part. See you later.